Hello everyone, I'm Captain Shar. I mostly do retro games. Sometimes I play new games, and sometimes I frig. Messed up my own intro. And sometimes I do reaction content, and this is one of those times. We're back with another... Shit, is this the Fat Files or Fat Electrician? I can't even tell anymore. Fat Files. The company that owns sports instead of advertising. Yeah, I'm pretty sure this is the Red Bull thing, but you know what? Let's just hop into it. Link to the original will be down below.
I had no idea that this was the third largest beverage company on the planet. Today we're talking about Red Bull. Why are we looking into energy
I always thought Pepsi or Coke owned Red Bull.
drinks? One, because I drink energy drinks and I like them. And two, I actually own part of an energy drink company, Echelon,
Jeez.
and I decided, you know, if I want my energy drink company to be successful, I should probably look at what all the other successful companies are doing so I can replicate it or improve upon it.
Genius.
Be honest with you, I almost skipped right past Red Bull, went straight to Monster because, well, honestly, I don't really like Red Bull. I think it tastes like cough syrup. It's got way too much sugar in it. I don't like their tiny little cans. You guys have seen my wife. I'm an Arizona tea-size can kind of guy.
That means two things.
Until I did the research for this video, I was thoroughly convinced the only reason Red Bull was still in business was because it tastes good mixed with vodka, and the only reason people think it tastes good mixed with vodka is because it's the only option of energy drink any bar ever has. But then the voice in the back of my head is like, wait
So it's really like the Pepsi of energy drinks. It's just there.
a minute, why is Red Bull the only option at every bar ever? Like, how come bars aren't offering like White Monster or Cherry Lime Ghost or Echelon or any other energy drink that tastes 1,000 times better? And then also, how come every gas station I've ever been to has an entire, you know, like door dedicated almost exclusively to Red Bull?
Heck, there's even dedicated Red Bull fridges at some of these places. And I've seen dedicated Monster ones too, so...
While all the other energy drinks have to share shelf space. So I'm like, okay, maybe I'm living in a bubble. Maybe Red Bull's way more popular than I think it is. And boy, is it, because they have 43% of the global market share for energy drinks. To put that into perspective,
What?
they sold almost 14 billion cans of Red Bull last year. Okay, do you understand how big of a number 14 billion is? That's 200,000 tons of aluminum just for the cans alone. Okay, that's like 440 million pounds of aluminum every single year just in Red Bull cans. Okay, I'm just yelling big numbers at this point. To put it into perspective, the Iowa class battleships, the biggest battleship America's ever created, is 57,000 tons. You're putting out Red Bull cans equivalent to 4 of the largest battleships ever fucking made every single year. So
That's insane when he puts in this into a perspective like that, into a metric. And it's kind of funny, like, yes, Americans use any measurement systems available, but when you put it like that, when you actually give it like a tangible real-world like thing to compare it to, it makes a bit more sense when I think about it now.
yeah, they're way more popular than I thought, and we're gonna get into it right after a word from our sponsor. This video is brought to you by Henson's Shaving. Okay, look, they've sponsored the channel before, and every single time I get comments, why is the guy with the beard recommending a shaving product? Okay, I have to separate the face hair from the chest hair at some point, okay? There is some amount of shaving going on. And for that shaving, I use Henson's. Why? Because they sent me one for free 3 years ago and paid me a bunch of money to do ads for them. Obviously, you weren't expecting a YouTuber to be upfront about it, were you?
No.
But also, I wouldn't be doing the ads if I didn't like the company, so why do I like the company? The product's cool, it looks cool, and it works. What else do you want from a razor? Oh, also, it's way cheaper than everything else on the market. It doesn't seem like it at first because the razor itself is $79.99, it's machined out of aircraft-grade aluminum, but once you buy it, you're done. It's gonna last you the rest of your life, and then the only thing you ever have to buy again to keep shaving is actual shaving safety razors, and that's it. You can get them from anywhere. All the safety razors fit. You don't have to buy their special proprietary ones, and it's like one box is $5.
Yeah, Henson is basically doing basically the 1950s way of doing shit. And if it ain't broke, why fix it? Like, it's not a hard concept. Sorry for that bit terrible pause frame for him because it looks like he's just yawning.
$5, and it's lasted me 3 years. I haven't even got through my first box yet. Every other shaving company is like, oh, we buy our special handle, and then we have these click cartridges that go on top, and on the click cartridge, there's 17 different smaller razor blades, and there's this gel pad that gums up after 2 fucking uses. And by the way, it's 5 cartridges, is like $30. It'll last you about a month. So you can basically spend like $30 to $40 a month on shaving stuff, or you could just pony up one time, buy the thing you need, and then you could shave for the rest of your life. That's it. That's the ad. Buy nice shit, buy it once, use it for the rest of your life. I'll have a link in the description down below. Back to the video. All right.
Actually, yeah, that's kind of smart. It's like you do it once, you basically don't need it ever again. And I wish more companies would do something like that, where it's basically, oh, we offer repair services, etc., instead of just like, you know what, that shit broke. All right, buy a new one.
Let's take it from the top. 1976, Thailand. There's this guy by the name of Chaleo Yovuda. He grew up in rural Thailand as the son of a duck farmer, which I didn't know was a thing, but whatever. Anyways, he grows up, he decides he doesn't want to be a duck farmer forever, so he moves down to the big city of Bangkok.
Sorry. Duck farmer? What the fuck's a duck farmer? Do you like just farm? Did he farm duck eggs, or just the ducks for the duck meat, or he just? I have questions and I don't have answers. My little brain is just like, burr.
The capital of Thailand. While there, he works as a bus driver and a pharmaceutical salesperson, and then eventually opens up his own pharmaceutical company called TC Pharmaceuticals. They basically import cosmetics.
Yeah, say, how does a duck farmer go from a pharmaceutical giant? A few steps here I feel like I just glossed over.
And antibiotics. And in 1976, he decides he wants to create his own energy tonic, which is a popular product in Asia at this point in time, not really popular or well known anywhere else in the world. Basically, it's like the predecessor to what we know as an energy drink today. It's these little shots that you can buy at the pharmacy.
Yeah, back in the day, this is probably gonna date me, we had Jolt Cola. And that's the biggest thing I can think of back in the day, when we had tons of caffeine, loaded in caffeine, basically. I miss those days.
See, they've got caffeine, taurine, B vitamins, all the shit that's in a normal energy drink. You go to the pharmacy, you buy it, you drink it. It's like drinking an energy drink. I heard they put bull cum in it too. No, they did not put bull semen in the Red Bull, okay? It's an internet myth. The whole myth comes from the word taurine, which is in like every energy drink ever. Taurine refers to the word Taurus, you know, like a bull, and everybody's like, oh, it must obviously mean bull semen. No, it's literally just a derivative of red meat, okay? You get taurine from eating a steak, they just extract it and they put it inside the energy drink, okay? It's not that. Moving on.
I assumed.
So is it bad for your heart still? What? Well, actually, probably every energy drink is bad for your heart, but just the taurine alone, I mean, is it bad for your heart? I don't know. I'm just thinking.
There's semen on everything.
So he ends up making his own. He calls it Krating Dang.
I assumed there was semen on everything.
So he ends up making his own. He calls it Krating Dang, which is Thai for red gore, and a gore is like this type of bull-looking animal they have over in Thailand. It's like a symbol of strength. And from here, he just starts selling his product. He's a pharmaceutical rep. It's just, it's an easy layup for him, right? Oh, you want to buy this new energy tonic too? Great, here you go. And he's selling it to all these pharmacies. And then he decides, you know what? People that are shopping at pharmacies don't really need energy drinks. The people that need this are people like my parents, the farmers, the people like me when I was being a bus driver, like blue-collar people that are actually working for a living are the people that need this product. I need to market it.
So he's gonna market it from not being like a medicinal thing to just a sports drink, more or less.
Towards them. So he starts marketing to the blue-collar workforce, and the main way he does this is by sponsoring Muay Thai fights, which is like the biggest sport in Thailand. It's like sponsoring the NFL in America. And pretty soon he goes from selling his product inside of pharmacies to selling his product in pretty much every convenience store type location. I mean, they don't really have gas stations back then in Thailand like America has gas stations, but think of like roadside mom and pop shops where you'd buy like food, water, drinks, stuff like that. Anything you would need, there's Krating Dang there right by the register. Okay, it's kind of like those weird gas station boner pills that you see at truck stops. Okay, don't give me that look. You know exactly what I'm talking about.
The White Rhino 9000 or the Cheetah 10K. I know what he's talking about. I've seen them. Not even at the gas stations. They're just at the corner stores here. And this is Canada. Like, not even at a gas station. You can just go and get these things at any corner store, any convenience store, really. Surprised the dollar store doesn't carry them. Yeah, I'd be skeptical that really more, you know, I'm skeptical either way.
You got like the one pill in the package with like a rhino charging at you and like an explosion in the background. It's like, be bigger, harder, for longer, bleh.
Yeah, see? Michael Bay. Rhino.
Okay, and then right next to that, there's Krating Dang, an energy tonic with two giant Red Bulls headbutting each other. Like, it's one of those. But Krating Dang actually becomes outrageously popular and is being sold all over Thailand because, again, Chaleo tapped into a market that nobody else was targeting, blue-collar, hardworking people that actually needed a product like this. Fast forward to 1984, an Austrian businessman by the name of Dietrich Matchowitz, his name's Dietrich.
You say your name right. right now.
He's a marketing guy for some big company. He flies into Thailand for a business meeting. He's got jet lag, so before his business meeting, he stops at a convenience store, sees this energy tonic that's supposed to, you know, give you a little pick-me-up, decides to drink it. It cures his jet lag. He absolutely loves it. Problem is, they don't have products like this anywhere in Europe where he's from. And he's a marketing guy. He sees the potential. So he ends up going to Chaleo and like, hey, we need to start a new company and start marketing this to Europe and the United States of America. People in the West would absolutely love this shit. So they end up working out a deal. Chaleo can keep Krating Dang. That's his own company. That's his thing. That's what they're going to sell in Asia. But they're going to start a new company to market this product in Europe and the United States of America. And nobody knows what the fuck a gore is in those places. So they're going to rename it to Bull. And they create what we know today as Red Bull. 49% owned by Chaleo, 49% owned by Dietrich, and 2% owned by Chaleo's son.
You guys are getting paid?
Dietrich then takes Krating Dang back over to Europe for product testing, and people do not like it. Okay, it's not very good. It's literally like medicine at this point in time. So they refine the formula, they add some sugar, they carbonate it, they make it more like a beverage, and then they send it back into product testing, and it does.
I didn't realize it was not carbonated originally. Interesting. I'm kind of curious what the original Red Bull tastes like then, the uncarbonated
It
version.
does okay. Okay, this is the same flavor of Red Bull that we have today, right? Like, it's not good. And I'm assuming it's because flavor science back in, like, the 1980s wasn't that great. Like, energy drinks today, they taste exactly like Sour Patch Kids or Swedish.
Well, I'm trying to think. What kind of drinks did we have back in the 80s besides... Was that at the time during New Coke, or... I know there was Crystal Pepsi and whatnot, and that made Anniversary come back twice in my lifetime already now. I don't know how to feel about that. I'm old.
Fish or anything that you can have a flavor for, they somehow managed to make that liquid taste like that. Like, you could have a Doritos flavored energy drink if that's what you really wanted in 2026. And then you have like Red Bull, the OG energy drink, and it tastes like Red Bull. Like, there's no even identifiable flavor that it kind of tastes like. It tastes like sweet chemicals.
Kerosene is fuel, Brian. Red Bull is fuel. Kerosene is Red Bull. See, Brian? I feel great.
Now, to most people, you'd be like, okay, well, let's figure out how to make it taste better so people will want to drink it. But Dietrich...
I'm actually not even sure what the hell kerosene actually is, only that I use it for some blowtorches and some old lanterns. I just know it burns.
Being a mad genius is like, no. Tasting like shit is actually a strength, because then if it tastes like medicine, people will know that it actually works. Which is one of those things where it's like, it's so stupid that it's actually brilliant, because that's
Buckley's. It tastes awful and it works. Not endorsed, by the way.
exactly what a lot of people are going to think. Like, I know so many people that are like, no. If it sucks to do, it must be good for me. Okay, if you're not picking up what I'm putting down, I'm trying to tell you that Red Bull is like the craft beer.
They just basically capitalized on that, shit. What's it called? Not conditioning. Well, I guess it would be conditioning if medicine makes you better, then if this tastes bad, but it wakes me up, then clearly it's working.
Of the energy drink world. Okay, we've all been around these craft beer people where you like go to the brewery with them and they're like, oh, do you like IPAs? Do you like sours? And you're like,
I have no idea what he's talking about because I don't drink beer. I find it tastes like piss.
I have no idea, dude. I just like beer. Just whatever you recommend, that's what I'll try. And then they order you what they supposedly like and they hand it to you. It doesn't even look like beer. It looks like a potion that some wizard just made in the back. It's all thick and foamy and shit.
It just looks like a potion some wizard whipped up. Okay, seriously though, you could sell me on that if your guy who's serving the beer just comes out looking like a fucking wizard and hands me one of those science flasks and it's just a beer in it. So like, all right, Mr. Wizard Dude, I will try this concoction that hopefully will not make me go blind. For legal reasons, it's a joke.
It's always got some stupid name like, okay, this is my favorite IPA.
Sour me, unicorn farts. Well, better than unicorn piss, I guess.
It's purple unicorn muffin tops. Then you take a smell of it and it smells like grass clippings and regret, and you don't want to be...
Grass clippings and regret. Ugh. That's, just picturing that smell in my head. It's like, yeah, that's a smell. Ugh. Ah! Can't give me, Not a fan of that imaginary smell.
Dude, so you try this guy's good beer and it tastes like you dissolved a pine cone in acetone. It's horrible. And then they get all smug and arrogant, like, oh, you don't like it? Can you not handle the hoppiness? You don't like the bitterness of it? Maybe your palate's just not refined enough. Like, no, fuck off. That tastes like carbonated tree bark. You know that tastes horrible.
This tastes like somebody poured it for an old boot. Actually, it's a sneaker.
Sorry, I'm getting sidetracked. Anyways, Red Bull is supposed to taste bad, like it's part of the marketing strategy. And from here, Dietrich really turns on the marketing genius because he's like, you know what would pair perfectly with we've designed it to taste bad so people know that it works? If we combined it with being a luxury product. Kratom Gang was marketed to, you know, blue-collar, hardworking people. It was sold for fairly cheap. So Dietrich is gonna take basically a carbonated version with more sugar of the same product. He's gonna put it in a slimmer, fancy, prettier can, and he's gonna market it to rich people instead and jack the price through the roof. Okay, I'm going off the rails again, I'm sorry. It's IPAs. It's literally a carbon copy of the IPA business model, even though Red Bull did it first. Like, literally, IPAs, you can go to the liquor store, buy a 30 rack of Busch Light, Miller Lite, Coors Light, whatever beer you want, or counteroffer.
I kind of know what those are, but I'd rather go buy the hard stuff. But hey, that's me.
You could buy a 4-pack of IPAs that have a pretty can and a corky name and taste like shit for 3 times the price. But hey, you get to pretend like you're sophisticated and better than everybody else, so it's worth it. I'm sorry, I really don't like IPAs, if you guys can't tell. Moving on. Anyways.
I don't like any beers. That's just me, though.
Dietrich jacks the price up. It costs like 9 cents to manufacture a can of Red Bull. They're selling anywhere from $3 to $6 a can, depending on size. Now remember, we're trying to sell this to rich people. We're trying to be a luxury item. Where do we go to target rich people? So they start selling this stuff at ski resorts. And around the same time in the late 1980s, there was this other thing going on at ski resorts. It was like this cultural revolution around ski resorts. Snowboarding. It was like the skater rebellious version of skiing that was
so this is just gonna go hand in hand for these crazy people being jacked on caffeine.
For more like grungy, less hoity-toity people. And you know who fucking loved Red Bull and energy drinks? It was all the snowboarders. And Red Bull geniusly recognized this, right? Because sponsoring already established mainstream
these 80s colors, this 80s resolution.
Athletics is extremely expensive, but here's this other new up-and-coming sport that we think is going to be big, and they already love our product. We're going to start investing in that instead. So Red Bull starts sponsoring a bunch of snowboarders, and then that expands out into all the other extreme sports like skateboarding and BMX, and then it turns into Red Bull.
I just realized if the hoverboard ever became a reality in real life, it would probably go down the same lane.
Just sponsoring anything that's like that high adrenaline junkie type stuff that you see on the internet, like jumping out of planes in a squirrel suit or like racing a car down a mountain really fast, like anything that's dangerous where you're like, holy shit, how does somebody get that good at doing that without dying? Red Bull's sponsoring that now. Then Red Bull realizes like, okay, this demographic.
So Red Bull's just like, you know what, let's just go Bollywood.
Demographic is almost exclusively like young men, so that's our demographic. That's who we're gonna target. We're gonna target young dudes that wanna be amped up and do crazy shit. We can't target high schoolers yet because they're not of age, so we're gonna target the next best thing.
Did it stop them from didn't it stop us from drinking stuff in high school? We had Red Bull, I think we still had Jolt back then, and we had Balls energy drink. I know, and that's not a euphemism. We just BAWL.
College kids. Red Bull starts going to all the big party colleges in the country and starts finding like the guy that throws all the parties or like the fraternities and just starts giving them cases and cases of Red Bull for free. Like, here, drink this shit. They hired hot college chicks in little Red Bull mini skirts and outfits to walk around college campuses giving out Red Bulls for free out of cooler backpacks. They went as far as going to popular events with a lot of people and filling a bunch of the trash cans up completely with empty Red Bull cans so people would see that and be like, holy shit, that's a popular product, and they would go buy it at the concession.
That's a dirty but genius tactic, not gonna lie.
Stand when they were there. This cost them a ton of money, probably tens if not hundreds of millions of dollars in free product that they just gave out. But it was totally worth it because guess what a bunch of college kids are gonna do with free energy drinks? They're gonna mix them with alcohol so they can party harder, longer, and this was the birth of the vodka Red Bull, which turned into people going to bars asking for a vodka Red Bull. So naturally, after the bars got asked enough for vodka Red Bulls, they decided they needed to start stocking Red Bull. And that is why bars pretty much exclusively only carry Red Bull and no other energy drinks because they were the only energy drink around and everybody wanted vodka Red Bulls. So
it became the de facto mixer for energy drinks. Got it.
But when they started stocking Red Bull so they can make vodka Red Bulls for everybody, Red Bull made them sign a licensing agreement like, hey, we'll give you this free little Red Bull mini fridge, we'll stock it for you, but here's the deal, you're only allowed to sell Red Bull energy drinks, and everybody agreed to it because at the time, they were the only energy drink around, and all those licensing...
That's actually clever on their part, on Red Bull's part.
Agreements are still in place, and that's why almost every
I wonder how many years it was for.
single bar, at least in the United States of America, just has Red Bull. So from here, Red Bull just becomes outrageously popular. Like, it is the OG energy drink. It's literally the third most profitable beverage company on the planet. It's Coca-Cola, Pepsi, then Red Bull. And if we're being...
Wow. Really? Nescafe? I only know Nescafe for the tea and chocolate bars. Gatorade? I could have swore Gatorade was owned by Pepsi or Coke as well.
Being honest, Coca-Cola and Pepsi aren't really competitors with Red Bull because soda and energy drinks are two different things with two completely different markets. So as far as I'm concerned, Red Bull is the Coca-Cola of the energy drink world, and just like Coca-Cola, they also got accused of having cocaine in their drink. Yeah, around this time, Red Bull was getting super popular, obviously very popular with young people, so naturally older people fucking hated it for no apparent reason. They're like, oh, it's bad for you, it's unhealthy. They're lecturing all the youth about it while drinking black coffee and smoking on a cigarette, explaining how it's bad for your heart. And then,
let me tell you something, kid. I've been smoking for 35 years. Bad for your heart, but I ain't gonna stop.
one of the things they brought up, just trying to pin Red Bull to the wall on anything they could find, was Red Bull had a like organics flavor that was Red Bull Cola, and it tested hot for having cocaine in it. Basically,
what? No way. Ain't no way. They brought back the classic Coca-Cola recipe.
Because it was a cola flavor, they were using coca leaves, you know, Coca-Cola. They were using coca leaves. They were decoconized leaves, meaning they didn't have cocaine in them, kind of like decaf coffee doesn't really have caffeine, but there's still like a tiny little itty-bitty trace amount of cocaine in the leaves, just like...
Like, unless you're like really synthesizing the flavor, it's, and if you're still using the original thing, it's like it's always gonna have like trace amounts.
With Coca-Cola, so they went to the table being like, there's cocaine in this.
I don't know. I swear to God. Swear to me.
Anyways, Red Bull ended up like hiring the scientists, and they're like, you would have to drink like 12,000 cans of Red Bull to actually have that cocaine take effect.
Damn.
Literally, you would OD on every other ingredient in the Red Bull before you ever got a high from that level of cocaine. I believe the official wording was it was a negligible amount of cocaine, which honestly sounds like you went to court with Charlie Sheen as your lawyer, but hey, that's a great name for an energy drink flavor. Like, that should be the official flavor name of Red Bull. Negligible amount of cocaine. So from here, Red Bull spends years and probably a ton of money, like hundreds of millions of dollars in courts, battling with governments. They're getting banned in different countries in Europe, then they get them unbanned, then they end up getting sued because...
And over here in Canada, we have this stupid rule of if you only have X amount of caffeine, what is it, like 120, 150 something milligrams of caffeine, and then instead of banning all these other energy drinks for a while there, it's just like, come on. What's going to stop people from just drinking too then, you morons? Now, for legal reasons, just follow the instructions on the damn can. I'm not your doctor. I'm not your parent. You do you, basically.
Because their OG tagline was Red Bull gives you wings, and they got sued because Red Bull doesn't actually give you wings, apparently. I guess they actually ended up losing the lawsuit because the court said, well, yeah, we didn't actually think it would give us wings, but we thought it would increase our athletic performance, and they couldn't scientifically prove that drinking Red Bull increased the performance, so they ended up losing the lawsuit.
Oops.
Oh, okay.
But Red Bull comes out the other side bigger, stronger, more popular than ever. And at this point, like I said, they're the third biggest drink company on the planet. They're making billions of dollars a year. And they're like, okay, we've got the whole, you know, young extreme sports thing on lock. We've got the college kids on lock. Now every bar is only allowed to sell Red Bull. Where do we go from here? We're finally ready. We're finally a big enough company. We can start doing those mainstream sporting athletic sponsorships that we were thinking about originally because we can afford it now. Not only can we afford it, we can afford to go a step further. You know what's cooler than sponsoring an athletic team or sponsoring an athlete,
Owning one?
just buying the fucking team outright. Red Bull just starts buying entire professional sports teams. They have
What?
one of the largest and most diverse professional sport team portfolios of any other entity on the planet. They're the only
What?
company on the planet that owns 2 F1 teams. They own 6 professional soccer teams, 6
What?
pro hockey teams.
What?
They have a pro rugby team. Like, they
What?
own everything. And in another stroke of
don't they own some fighters, like boxers too, or wrestlers? Like, I could be wrong in this. Like, it's not my field of expertise, but in passing, I'm positive I've seen some like fighters or something sponsored by them. I've seen the logos always pop up on everything. It's just kind of creeps up everywhere. So he's not wrong. They are literally like have their fingers in everything.
Genius, they go a step further with it. Because they're buying multiple sports teams in the same sport, they use one of the sports
What?
teams as like their main team with their best talent, and they use the other sports teams as like their reserve, where they train people up and get them really good and build them a fan base, and then they eventually migrate up to the top level team. And in doing this, an athlete's pretty likely to end up being like a Red Bull soccer player his entire career, or a Red Bull F1 driver his entire career. So now not only is Red Bull associated with like the team franchise, it'd be like being associated with the Indianapolis Colts. Now instead, every athlete on that team and that athlete's fan base is associated with Red Bull as well. So now Red Bull isn't just to, you know, keep with the analogy, it's not just associated with like the Indianapolis Colts, now it's associated with Peyton Manning. It's brilliant. They've vertically integrated everything
They basically took what Coca-Cola did for the brand recognition and took it like, this is what it's like to go beyond. But no, they actually did it. That's not gonna lie, kind of genius.
So now, not only are they making money selling their energy drinks, they use that money to buy professional sports teams, to promote their energy drink, to sell more energy drinks, but also the professional sports teams are really good and they're making money too. Rather than paying to promote their
They're
product like
literally
every
printing money.
other company on the planet, Red Bull literally figured out how to get paid to promote their product. It's crazy. And then their social media marketing gets even crazier
What the
because
hell?
they're getting paid to do that too. Look at their YouTube channel, 27 million subscribers, and every video has millions, tens of millions, if not hundreds of millions of views. Okay, inside
I didn't even know
baseball,
they had a
there's no
YouTube
like
channel.
standard base pay for like how much money you get per view if you're big on YouTube. It depends on creator, length of video, what demographic you're in, yada, yada, yada. But the general rule of thumb is every million views is about $5,000. They've got 164 million views on a single video. That's like $820,000 they made to promote their own product. And none of these videos come off as like an advertisement. It's all just
This does kind of feel like a loophole too now, looking at this from this perspective. This almost does feel like a big loophole has been found. But as the man says, it's not a war crime the first time. No, but it really does feel like a loophole was found by Red Bull and they just went with it. And
crazy people doing crazy shit. Like they're doing parkour in an airport. There's one where they're like driving a
I don't know that
10-ton
commercial.
Red Bull truck down the most dangerous road in the world. There's another one where a dude skydives from outer fucking space. Like they just associated Red Bull with doing crazy cool shit. And they figured out how to get paid every single step of the way because they're not just getting paid for getting 164 million YouTube views.
it kind of reminds me though, the crazy shit they're doing, like guaranteed that the drink Saints Flow in the Saints Row universe is a nod or basically making fun of Red Bull, but at the same time it's not, because Red Bull does the same crazy shit. So, you know.
That's 164 million people that just watched an inadvertent Red Bull advertisement and are now going to subconsciously associate Red Bull with doing something awesome. And that's the big takeaway from this. It's branding. Red Bull is not the best tasting energy drink. It's not the healthiest energy drink. There's almost no metric where you can give Red Bull the title of best at anything involving being an energy drink, but they have the best brand. It's not about being the best. It's about being the favorite, which makes complete sense because you have to appeal to human emotion. You have to connect to people to be able to get them to spend money on your product. Think about it like a UFC fighter. You could be the best UFC fighter on the planet. You're undefeated. You finish everybody in the first round. But if you're an unlikable asshole and you don't have any fans, you're not going to get paid a lot of money. You could be a B-tier fighter that goes in there and has entertaining fights. He wins some, he loses some, never becomes a world champion, but he's got a ton of fans because people like him. That guy's going to get paid more money by the UFC because that's how it goes, because he generates more money because he's the favorite. And Red Bull, because of their genius marketing strategy,
and that applies to basically every platform, more or less.
Strategy is the favorite, and that's why they're successful. Thank you for watching. Best way to support the channel is go buy some merch, maybe drink some Echelon. All that's available over at thefatelectrician.com. Quack bang out.
Now, on that note, do note some of his merch is timed exclusive, so if you want to snag it, hop on that. Don't do what I did and sleep on it, because I missed out. And well, if you don't want to, like I said, all I can suggest is grab it. Rather than that, yeah. Interesting. I did not know Red Bull was that big. I knew they were big, but I didn't realize they owned so much that they could compete with Coke and Pepsi in that regard. I don't remember, but I was positive at one point Pepsi had an energy drink version. Was it the Pepsi Max? I don't remember. And Coke, I could have swore I had one too. Once upon a time, I tried to compete too, and they both just kind of dropped out. I don't remember though. I know Coca-Cola got its fingers into the alcohol business as well. Pepsi, I don't think so. I've never seen it, but anyways, yeah. Anyways, guys, that's gonna be it for now. So have a good one, and we'll catch you on the next one. Bye.